Welcome to Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater. Issues and Answers is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. And now, Issues and Answers with your host, Diane Kinderwater.
Welcome to the program. I'm Diane Kinderwater. This has happened to you, or it's happened to somebody you know. You feel great. You feel good. But you sneeze and you throw out your back. Or you're brushing your teeth and you drop your toothbrush, you go to pick it up, you throw out your back. This just happened to my friend. She was reaching for her cat, who should have been not on that top shelf. The cat weighs, what, 10 pounds? She lifted her cat down. She threw out her back. Why in the world does that happen? Well, I kind of know now because I had a scan of my back that shows, you know what, I feel great. But something's going to pop sometime soon, a disc, if I sneeze or reach up or bend down. On the show today, we're going to give you some hope as we discuss our health and wellness. We're going to talk to Dave Mager. He's a speaker, motivator, author, pastor, football coach, and more. He co-developed Insight Millennium. It's a scanning machine that's going to show you a lot about your spine, about the muscles and the nerves, and why you might not hurt right now, but you might throw something out tomorrow. I'm smiling. I'm not happy about it, but we're going to find out what we can do, maybe preventatively, so we don't throw out that disc. So please stay with us as we speak to Dave Mager right after this. You probably thought about it, right? You're thinking about somebody you heard. How can they blow their nose and throw out their back? Dave Mager is here to tell us how they can happen. I introduced you as a motivated speaker, an author, a former pastor, football coach, and more, but also you co-developed Insight Millennium, which is a machine that does what?
It's very good. It's an objective way to document, two nerves. There's basically three nerves. Your motor nerves control your muscles.
Motor nerves control your muscles.
Turn your head, move your feet. Autonomic controls your heart, your liver, all your organs in your body. And there's a thermal scan that we have too. Right now, you just got scanned with the EMG for muscles, okay? And so your bones are passive, your muscles are active. They hold and move your spine. Well, when I scanned you, you realized there was a lot of different areas that were not functioning properly. So what happens is the third part of the nerves, motor nerves, autonomic, is sensory. The third part is the smallest part. So you only feel 10% of what's going on.
So that's why I'm feeling good, but when you did a scan, it showed I was out of kilter.
Right.
But because our nerves only detect 10%
of the pain.
Yes. Which is good on one hand.
Yeah, well, because people say, I feel okay. Well, let's look at some of the things. What is the #1 killer in the country? Heart disease. 60% of the first symptom of heart disease is what? You drop over dead. High blood pressure is silent killer. Diabetes, silent killer. Cancer is silent killer. Diane, finish this statement. By the time you have a symptom, it's too
late.
Yeah, not too early, too late. Why? Because you're basing your health on feeling. Have you ever sit and had a soft roll and all of a sudden your tooth breaks off? You say, why did a tooth break? I'm just eating something soft. You can have 60% of your tooth rotten and not feel it. Why? Because that little nerve, it hasn't touched that nerve yet. So you go, oh, I'm fine. And no, you're not fine, like you today. But this is why we don't have health care in our country. We have sick care. You wait till you get sick to get care. That's not a good way. We believe in wellness care. Wellness care is not doing something for a reason, is doing something to prevent a reason. Do you take vitamins? Do you work out? Do you walk to try to exercise? You don't do it because you're hurt and you want to do it because you walk 3 times a week for just 20 minutes. You reduce heart disease 40%. So
3 times a week for 20 minutes, you reduce heart disease by
40 some percent.
Wow.
I think it's 43, but roughly that. So it's like, you and I, you're like what, 29 or 39?
29.
Yeah. Anyway, our parents' generation, they didn't do any wellness care. They worked hard. They didn't go to the gym. They didn't walk, do a push-up. They didn't take vitamins. We come along. We want not just quantity of life, we want quality of life. And so we say, hey, we saw the example of them, and we go, we want to be proactive. If we're proactive, we'll be much healthier. I'm a year away from, almost just a year and 2 months away from 70 years old. Well, I don't feel 70 years old because I get adjusted twice a month and once every 2 weeks for 40-some years. Out of 365 days of life, with 7 grandkids, 3 adopted, a beautiful wife of 49 years, 2 kids, a pastor and a teacher. You know what? My life's busy and I want to enjoy it. I don't want to sit around with ice packs and like, oh, I can't do this and that. So I do something not when I have a symptom, before I have a symptom.
Before, and we can find out what we might need to do because of this technology you developed. Mm-hmm. Tell me a little bit about that technology and who has used it before the public.
Well, Pat Temple and Chris Kent, doctors of chiropractic years ago, had part of it developed, and I came along and helped them to develop it because we wanted to, probably the biggest thing in chiropractic has been, we have, people getting adjusted, but we could never know, how am I doing? They just say, keep coming, and they didn't know.
So some people do get it. I mean, obviously we see chiropractic offices on almost every street corner.
Right.
So they go to get adjusted, but
before they get adjusted, we do X-rays that shows what structure of the bone, how the bone's working, but then we do the EMG to see how the nerves are working. Because if the bones are out of place, it affects the nerves. So we see how the bones are, if there's any fractures or misalignment or anything we call pathological. But then we look at the nerves. How's the autonomic nerve working, going to your heart, your liver, your stomach? People don't realize the connection of, if you have stomach problems, sometimes, not always, it's connected to the back. Let me ask you something. If the nerve going to your stomach has the weight of a dime, that's that much pressure, not that much, it can cause 60% disturbance of it working. So if your stomach only works 40%, is it a healthy organ? No. You have too much acidity and whatever. So if the chiropractor adjusts and the nerve now works 80% instead of 40%, it's twice as healthy, so it's not going to be as less trouble.
The nerve, you're saying?
The nerve, right. If the nerve works better, the organ works better. If the nerve works better, the muscle works better. Yeah, it's real simple. It's real simple. So now we can make a tailor-made program. We just don't, what I call poke, pop, and pray, and say, keep coming.
That's the chiropractor. Poke,
pop,
they
and
pop
then
you,
pray that it works. Yeah. Now we can quantitatively show you, like the brochure you have. We have in the middle, and I'll open it up. In the middle, we see all white bars, which means
I'll try to show this a little bit.
Yeah, and it's normal. And the colors. Green is mild, blue moderate, red is severe. The middle one, there's a lot of problems. Well, after a month of care, the bottom one then, we show that, look at, your colors are going away and you're getting better. If I was your trainer and you said, Dave, how am I doing? I say, oh, you're looking good. No, that doesn't get it. You want to say, were my hips 24? Are they 21? I want to see quantitative measurements that I'm getting better.
You're saying with a physical trainer, you want to see the muscles, you want to actually see it. You want to see if your waist is getting smaller.
It's got smaller, if your BMI got better, your blood pressure got better.
So you can quantitatively measure
the
outward
progress.
Appearance. But when it's inside or in your back, you cannot see it.
Yeah, I have a poster you'll love that says, the outside flatters, but the inside matters. So, do you ever see anybody that they say, well, you're X amount age, but inside you're like 10 years older because things are breaking down and you don't know it until, like you said, oh, what was that? And I was the same way. My wife, for 10 years, had Emitrek shots, Farinol codeine, had migraines. My buddy became a chiropractor. That's how I got into it. I said, Brad, go ahead. He said, I can help her. He did an adjustment. The headache went away. I'm like, it's okay for you, but I'm a football player, I don't need it. And I'm coaching football, and I turn my head, and my arm goes numb, and I'm stuck. And he told me a year ago, your neck's out, oh, whatever, you say everything. My hand was like fingers numb. That doesn't have to do anything with my back. He says, all the nerves control everything. So I could walk in, I said, hey, would you crack me? He goes, it's not a crack house, crack kills. I said, oh, whatever, adjust me, whatever you guys do. And I couldn't believe it. I was scheduled for surgery. I had two blown discs. And this is 40 years later, never had surgery. He adjusted me, the body, God made the body to heal and function and regulate. Stress, mental, physical, and chemical stress causes our body to go out of alignment.
Mental,
Physical, and chemical stress. Mainly, if physical stress is, like you're taking a backpack going hiking and it falls and it hits you, that's a trauma. But emotional chemicals, like wearing that book bag 24/7, and people walk around carrying all this stress. And what it does, it takes, and our posture, our structure starts to go out of line. We compensate, our low back's out, so our body compensates, and you start getting all these different things. So the technology is really great. Like at the fair, we're at the balloon, festival. People are like, wow, that's exactly where I hurt. If they do hurt. The key is though, like you, before you hurt let me ask you a question. If you got a cavity fixed for $80, we found the cavity early, or you waited till the cavity got 6% and your tooth broke, now you have a $2,000 crown. Why do you think healthcare is so expensive?
You wait. We wait.
You wait.
We wait.
Exactly.
I'm not feeling good, but I didn't know that nerves only indicate 10%
10%
of what's going on.
The smallest part.
So, what are some things we should be doing preventatively? I know we're going to talk a little later about seeing a chiropractor, but what are some other things we should be doing?
That's a very good point. It's a whole gamut. It's just not chiropractic. The older we get, stretching is very important. Okay, walking, exercise, and the older you get, you don't have to be running marathons. You're just a nice brisk walk. You have to eat properly, and that's a whole nother, talk. And all it is moderation, is smaller meals, a little more often, plenty of water, plenty of rest, learn to breathe properly, and you got to do all those things. Yeah, breathing is so important, and rest is when you heal. The body heals when you rest. So people that are not getting rest, and they're all tense, everybody that had their atlas out, your atlas is the first one where your head sits. When that atlas is out, your body, you lay down.
What do you mean by the atlas?
Atlas axis are the first two vertebrae.
Oh.
The atlas, like Atlas held the world,
Yes.
The atlas is the main one, and when that's out, it puts stress back here on the brain stem, which causes your body to be tense, at ease, and you go to sleep and you go, I just can't sleep. When we adjust that very softly, guess what? The whole body relaxes. People go, I'm sleeping better. I'm feeling better. And so it's
not a bad pillow. We're not talking about sleeping with a bad pillow.
You see, perfect question, because everyone will buy a mattress, pay thousands on mattress, and it will help, but it won't correct. Let me use an analogy, just like Jesus did all the time. It's like this. You have a rock in your shoe. Okay, you buy a big piece of foam to put in there. Oh, it feels better. They'll say, the mattress made me feel better, but I still have the problem. Well, you didn't correct the cause of the problem. So you get the mattress, it supports you better, but you still have that misalignment pinch in the nerve. So if you get adjusted, get this, and have a bad mattress, it doesn't support your healthy spine that you're having. So the two go hand in hand. Does that make sense?
So you're not getting the bad neck ache from your bad pillow.
No.
So I'm thinking, it's a bad pillow, but
someone just said that, and I said, okay, what did they say? Was it, they're sleeping in a hotel with a bad mattress, and it's hurt my neck. I said, oh, so you're not sleeping on your mid-back or low back? They go, well, yeah, my whole spine. Why is it just the neck? Here's another analogy. Oh, you know what? This tooth hurts because I had an ice cream that hurt that tooth. Well, it went through all the other teeth. Why did this hurt? Because that's the problem, the cavity. Okay, so when you're doing something, some people say, well, I was raking, that's why my low back hurts. Oh, you didn't rake with your neck and your mid-back? Yeah. Why did that flare up? That was where the cavity was. That was where the problem was, just like that I saw in you. But we're going to help you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it just manifests where the problem is, even though you use your whole back.
Exactly.
It just manifests.
But it makes sense that, well, I did this. Well, this hurts, or some do that, and my neck hurts. That's because that is not moving properly, and that manifests that problem that's in there.
Do things ever work themselves out, Dave?
Okay.
A misalignment, does it work itself out by itself?
No, but here's what it does. did you ever go and work in the garden after the winter and the spring comes and you get calluses, right? Okay, because you never have done that for a while. Why do you think you get calluses? Because God made your body to protect it when it's damaged. So it gets irritated, it builds calluses to protect it. So when you have a misalignment, it builds up scar tissue to protect it. It's not corrected it. Yeah, you do feel better, but again, it's still not, it's not corrected, but it is protected because the body wants to protect itself and heal and try to say, okay, let's kind of fix this problem with some scar tissue.
So we're going to talk about chiropractic and seeing one, but tell me more about the motor nerves, the muscle imbalance, the symmetry there, and what's the SEMG scan.
Okay.
That's the machine you developed.
Yes, yeah, co-developed, yes.
Co-developed.
The symmetry chart is the one that I developed. The EMG, what they do is that normal data we got from Johns Hopkins University said this is the normative data. And so then we measure you to the normal like we did today. Then mine, if you saw those spikes that you and your son, is like that. I measure you to you. So, okay, so you have a vertebrae. You have to have four units of tension, 4 units of tension. So it's even. If you have 12 units of tension, that spike chart will say this. And because if you look at that one on there, it doesn't have many colors on it, the one on the right-hand side. But look at
which one would you look at now?
On that side. But now, there you go. But then down there, you can see those red spikes. So we measure that. So let me ask you a question. If we had 12 people tug of war here and 4 here, who's going to win?
He's
the 12.
Win the 12.
Okay, but so here's how we get the readings. We take 4 out of there and 4 out of here. Okay, now it's 0, and we have 2 more, 2 more 4s. We may have 200% pull on that side. So people say, yeah, I can turn this way. This way, I can't turn. Well, because it's pulling tighter on one side than the other, and we can show them. So
you can show that through your machine, through the machine.
Yes.
So if a person goes to a chiropractor, should they ask if they have this machine?
Yes, they should. And there's other machines out there, let me clarify, that are, I think better than just guessing or like,
pulling, what did you say?
Poke, pop, and pray.
Poke and pop and pray.
Poke, pop, yeah. And so that's at least better than just guessing, where it is. So, and they should ask, and they could,
so when and I haven't gone for a while, and I don't recall any kind of, I recall tapping on the back. I don't recall any machine scanning my back. And there's no pain at all to scan. So do you lay down on a table, or what's the process of scanning your back?
No, you sit there because what happens when you're sitting there, you're putting pressure on there, just like some people say, I got an x-ray laying down. Well, you can't see unless you're standing up to weight bearing. So you sit there and you get the scan, you get the EMG, then you get the thermal scan, and then we also have a heart variability that we created before, about years ago, that you put your hand in there and it tells if your heart's adaptable. What's important about adaptability, the fight or flight, like if someone came in or they said, hey, there's a tornado coming, we'd up and run, our bodies go, we're in the flight, fight mode, let's go. Or if a lion comes in here, we're running. But then there's sympathetic and parasympathetic, meaning then all of a sudden after you get excited, do you calm back down? Well, what happens is people get stuck, their adrenals get stuck because their autonomic's not working, and they're always tense like this. And so it's like putting the gas on. Do you ever start the car up, you think it's started, and you push on the gas and it's already started? Well, people are like that all the time. Or people have their foot on the brake and they don't have the energy. So it's got to be a nice balance. If the spine's balanced, the function is balanced, and you're healthy. You repair, heal, and function normally, and things, because in a year, all of our cells are brand new. And so if we don't have healthy function, and we only produce 40% healthy cells, then we have a bunch of sick cells, which can lead to sickness and disease. And what did they say with COVID? They said it's not about the older people. It said if you have health issues, you're more at risk.
Yes.
So I have not been sick that much. I even had COVID for like 2 days, and I was back to normal. My body functions better inside. Therefore, I fight the external stresses of sickness and disease much better, and I'm hardly ever sick. And people say that, I don't get sick as much, and because you work better inside, you work better outside.
So what do we need to do to work better inside?
We need to, number one, and again, it's not the cure-all, but see a chiropractor and make sure that everything inside is functioning properly, but then you got to eat properly, you got to exercise properly, because Gray's Anatomy, the medical literature says the central nervous system, brain, controls and coordinates every cell, tissue, muscle, and organ in the body and helps you adapt to the environment.
That's what your brain does.
That's what your brain, yeah, your central nervous system. It is the first, it's three most important things. It's your life force. When the cells meet together, okay, this, you know, the conception, those begin to be multiplied millions of cells, the neural streak, the spine is formed, then branch off the nerves to create and grow your organs. So it's your life force because the cells are produced in your body. It's also the only organ that's encased by bone. The brain and the spinal cord protect the spine. So whatever you believe, how we were created, somebody said, hey, this is the most important. We got to protect it. Because when I say, what's the most important organ? Guess what most people say? Your heart? No, can you get a heart transplant? I said, when are you legally dead? When the brain's dead. Yes. So
repeat that, Dave Mager.
Okay.
Because everyone thinks it's the heart.
Yeah, they said the heart. No, you can replace a heart. You can put in the heart. Can you put a new brain in? No. You know, you're legally dead in your brain. Number one. So it's a life force. Number two, it's a communication center. We have 325 miles an hour through 45 miles of nerves in your body. We have trillions of cells going down, reporting how you doing. Hey, heart, you got to do it. Hey, we got some food. It's just going crazy. So our heart beats 103,000 times in a day. Our lungs contract and expand. I mean, there's just amazing things happen every day. But when the communication is muffled, guess what? It's kind of like the older days that some people know, the what was it called when you said a thing and went around and then it came out wrong. So guess what? Better communication equals better health. And the last thing, it's the master control system. Our bodies are self-healing, self-regulating. If you cut yourself, what happens? You bleed, you clot, you heal. Why? Because there's a life force, communication. If I cut a piece of steak there, 2 weeks later, it's still going to be cut because it's dead tissue. So our bodies are always repairing. Our stomach lining every 7 days is new. Or it's just amazing, the human body that God created. So, and then we're self-regulating. When we're cold, we shiver. When we sweat, we're hot.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So again.
And Dave, you're going fast.
Sorry, I get excited.
You're excited. Kind of a lot of new information. I'm going to ask you how people can find out more information. But before I do, I want to ask about going to a chiropractor.
Sure.
People should, your recommendation is what? Go every month, every year, even if you don't feel out-aligned? And what should you ask for when you go to see if they have the scan? Because I got a scan and I forgot I had a hip that was thrown out. I was like, oh, my son remembered. Oh, Mom, remember your hip? Oh.
See, a lot of people don't know, yeah.
So. What should people just go for? We go for preventative care to our medical doctor.
Right. You make sure you say, is this a wellness chiropractor? And what that means is, and what that means is wellness is not doing something for a reason, it's doing something to prevent a reason.
Okay.
So they means like, well, okay, if I get adjusted, if my pain goes away, did they say not come back? If they do, that's wrong because, you know, they need to continue. Okay.
And we only have 2 minutes left, so you have to tell me. Now you have to tell me fast. Okay. You find someone that considers a wellness chiropractor.
Yes, exactly.
And what kind of scanning should they have?
Some kind of equipment that scans that can show you that you're improving. Because it's kind of like wearing braces. Once 3 years you get your braces and you correct the problem. What do? Do you stop? You wear a retainer for 10 years. So wellness care is, I go twice a month out of 365 days to retain health in my spine. Simple.
But they should have something to show you.
Something to show, right.
Because I'm feeling good, but your machine shows I wasn't.
Right.
And if I get adjusted and maybe do some physical therapy, it could go back into alignment, but I can see it by the scan.
Right. Right. And you see, I didn't even know that about your hip. And I said, look, there's something there. A lot of people don't remember, all these years of struggle.
Well, my son, you're off the chart. I go, oh, remember I was walking.
Yes. So anybody, 50 and up, I mean, they've been a lot of years just stress of life. Yeah. So they need to.
See wellness see if they have a scan for improvement.
Right.
And again, we have preventative with our medical doctors, which insurance pays. Does insurance pay for a chiropractor?
Most do, but let me ask you a question. Is insurance responsible for your health? No, you are. Okay, they're for sick care, just like your car insurance doesn't pay for your tires and your oil change. It pays when your car is damaged. Our system pays when it's damaged. So sometimes, you know, you got to pay for your gym membership, your vitamins, and your chiropractic care. But it's an investment. It's an investment in your health.
How much is usually a care? Usually?
Anywhere from $50 to $60 for an adjustment.
And that's what you asked for, an adjustment.
Yeah, an adjustment, yes. And you usually have to do a series in the first 3 months. But once you get through that first initial care, then you just go on a wellness basis. And the more you do on the outside, like stretching and self-care, good self-care, the better you support your and you don't need as many.
But I have done yoga and all this, and still I was off the chart. So I'm not.
Right, because you can't adjust you can't get in there and move your vertebrae. So you'll be an excellent candidate if you get adjusted and do all those good things while you look good on the outside. But inside, UGLY, you ain't got an alibi. It's ugly.
Oh, how amazing. So good analogy about the car. Our insurance covers the accident, but not the preventative, the oil changes and such. In addition to chiropractic, what other suggestions do you have as a hope dealer that it says on your?
Well, that's what we got to give. We got to give people hope. One thing, and I'm not, medical's good, chiropractic, everything's good, but if someone's not getting help, they need to do something else. And to give them hope is saying, listen, here's my favorite line. Check it out. You have nothing to lose but your problem.
You did, Mager. Speaker, motivator, author, pastor, football coach, and now giving us. And what?
And game face. Get your game face on. That's what life's all about. Get in the game, get your game face on, your head in the game. And I've been married and blessed 49 years. And then they say, how do you do it? God, family, job. That's it. The God, family, job. I'm too blessed to be stressed and too annoying to be disappointed.
Mager, what a delight.
Thank you.
You so much for making the effort to be on this program
today.
today.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
And thank you for watching. Thanks KCHF TV for bringing you Issues and Answers. It's a great public service for you and for me. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Issues and Answers with your host Diane Kinnewater is presented as a public service to inform, educate, and better the lives of New Mexicans. To comment on today's program or to purchase a copy of any Issues and Answers program, visit sunbroadcasting.org or call us at 505-345-1991.